All right, let's do this. Also, by the way, it was raining and there's still like water dripping outside, and it's pretty loud, but there's nowhere else I can really record. That that won't show up in the recording, so I apologize for that. But shouldn't be too much of an issue. I guess it sort of symbolizes this current situation pretty well. um, but yeah, I wanted to talk about Collider and their cancellation of a lot of their shows. So Collider put out a tweet basically saying that they were canceling Movie Talk, Collider Live, Jedi Council, and Heroes. Um, and they are refocusing their efforts into premium series offerings, like comic book shopping, Above the Line, the Deepfake Saga, Ladies' Night, and For Your Consideration. And so, right off the bat, I just want to say that I don't necessarily blame Collider for deciding to cancel a lot of those shows. It's a business, and if those shows weren't doing what they needed to do to warrant Collider keeping them around, then it is what it is. I can't necessarily fault them for doing that. I don't like that they're going away, just because I don't like seeing people lose their jobs, and I don't like obviously there were a lot of fans that really enjoyed those shows, and I feel bad for them that they won't have them anymore. I also don't think that at the end of the day, I also don't think it's wise for them to just outright cancel those shows, just because, like, so actually, before I get into that, I guess I want to talk about my history with Collider, or not just Collider, but Movie Talk, and one of the main reasons I'm making this video. Yeah, seeing the cancellation of Movie Talk was actually it was kind of a punch to the gut for me, because I've been with Movie Talk since like 2013, back in the AMC days, as they say. And yeah, I was like an avid viewer at that point, and like I was with them on and off, kind of when John was on and off. I was with them. I guess up until 2017, I think, was when he left for good. And yeah, I was just I just watched them almost every single day. Like, that show is one of the main reasons why I'm even doing this. Movie Talk was an inspiration to me. They're one of the reasons why I really got into movies and stuff. And they helped me develop my passion for film. So to see Movie Talk be canceled, yeah, it was just kind of a punch in the gut. Even though I haven't been keeping up with them recently, it's still really sad to see them go. And so, yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, is just because I'm sad. I'm sad to see one of the shows that was so influential to me be gone. And so yeah, that's kind of my history with Collider, or with Movie Talk. And so now on to why I think it was probably a mistake for them to cancel them. And that's because while a lot of their premium content, while it might provide, a lot of clicks on their videos, and by the way, a lot of these series don't do that. Really, the only ones that do are like the deep fake ones. The rest of them, they're not even really that popular. So like, a lot of this content, this isn't content that is going to develop a community. Like, with Movie Talk, Collider Live, Jedi Council, and Heroes, while they may not have been, huge shows, and while they may have gone down in popularity, those viewers are loyal. Those are loyal viewers, not just to those shows, but to the Collider brand. And like, like I said before, stuff like the deepfake stuff and the comic book shopping and the ladies' night and for your consideration, like a lot of that stuff. It's just that's not really stuff that's gonna develop a community that supports you. You know. So, it's like I just I don't think it's wise. Now look, if you want to like cut back on the shows like Movie Talk Collider Live and Jedi Council, you know, because it was a pretty big production, right? They had this fancy set and all that. Like, if you want to cut back on it, maybe, you know, kind of treat it like they were treating Collider Live and have those shows just be like podcasts that they did in a spare bedroom, like, then do that. Because at the end of the day, the people are what's going to make the content. I don't believe that you need to have like a big fancy set to, you know, to be good. So if you want to sort of treat it like that and just cut back on the budget, then do that. But to cut these shows out just all around and to just flat out cancel them, in favor of these other shows. I just don't think it's wise at the end of the day. Like, you have to think about your brand and the longevity of these shows, because like really the only thing that's bringing in the clicks out of the shows that they're keeping around is like the deep fake stuff. And it's okay, it's fine for now, but I don't know that people are gonna like this amount of people, if they're gonna really like just keep coming back for the deep fakes. Like, it's fine for like a few videos, but I don't see people. I anticipate people getting tired of that at some point. Like, that's a gimmick that's only really, and I think at least, is only gonna work a few times. So yeah, I don't know about that. And so yeah, like, while look, I respect your decision to cut these shows. I don't like that you're cutting them, but I respect it, even if I don't like that you're cutting them and I don't think it's wise to cut it. But what I absolutely do not understand, and what I absolutely do not support, I guess, is the way they went about doing this. So they basically put out this tweet announcing this, and apparently they only told the talent like a few hours they released the tweet. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, remember guys, these are this isn't just some goofy internet thing. These were employees, and they were only told a few hours. Like, I watched Roxy Strier's her live stream about this whole situation. She was like going into work to do Collider Live, and as she's going into work, they pulled her aside and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, your show's done." Like, they couldn't even give them like a week or two at least to let them know that their shows are being canceled. And by the way, this is like right after, you know, the holiday season. This is when they decide to do this. Right after the holiday season, and not only that, but to tell them like 3 hours before the official announcement. And yeah, and like not only 3 hours before the official announcement of the cancellation, but 3 hours before just the flat out cancellation. Like we're not going to get any more of these shows. So the hosts of these shows, the talent, they're not even going to get like a final send off video, like a final episode to say goodbye to their fan base. Like, and this just kind of goes to show how little the management at Collider cares about not only its employees but the fan base. Although to be fair, more importantly, the employees, because like I said, these were employees, so they lost their jobs and they were not given enough time to like prepare. Maybe try and find some other source of employment. It's just like nope. They came into work and they were just like, hey, no, you don't have a job anymore. And by the way, I've seen some people saying like, well, that's just how show business works. This is just how things are. So, you can't really get mad about this. And it's like, saying a shitty thing is the norm does not make it any less shitty. And maybe the fact that the shitty thing is the norm should should signal to you that it shouldn't be the norm. So no, to say that that's just how show business works, baby, like that's not an adequate response. It just isn't. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't work like that. So yeah. Yeah, and by the way, if you watch Roxy Strier's live stream, she says that she was a contractor. So guess what? She doesn't even get severance, and I don't know how many. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these other talents, if they were also contractors. So yeah, like they're not even getting severance, and it's just like, it just absolutely disgusts me how little Collider cares about its employees. So yeah, and then and if this doesn't get bad enough, this guy Jack Hind is his name, I guess. Yeah. So this piece of human feces, Jack Hind. So I guess he's like the number 2 guy at Collider. He's like the second in command. I think Mark Fernandez is like the CEO, and this guy is, I don't know, something in relation to Collider, but he's like one of the head guys. I think he's the second in command. He puts out this tweet because Scott Mance, and by the way, I don't have a problem with Scott Mance. He's great. He's one of the guys who does the For Your Consideration show. He puts out this tweet talking about a moment in the For Your Consideration show where Quentin Tarantino basically tells him that he actually watches he watches For Your Consideration. And he puts him on a spot where he's like, hey, you didn't put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in your top 5 or whatever. And hey, look, that's awesome. Like, that's awesome for Scott Mance. No, that's great. I do not have a problem with Scott Mance. But this Jack Hind guy, like, the day after he fires his staff, the day after fans loses show, the day after fans lost shows that they were deeply passionate about. In response, this is what this waste of space Jack Hind tweets out. I wonder why Collider chose to focus their resources on industry professional content and not daily movie commentary and fart jokes. And, by the way, he's since deleted this. But the internet always remembers. And, like, what just lack of morality do you have to do that? Like, first of all, like I said before, people just lost their jobs. People lost their jobs. They're now don't know what they're going to do. People, they lost their stability. And not only that, but these were people that were, incredibly passionate about what they do. And for you to just brush it off and say, and just like say, oh, I wonder why Collider chose not to focus their resources on just daily movie commentary and fart jokes. I just can't get over how disrespectful that shit is, you know? Yeah, and so Ken Knapsack also responded to him and basically saying the same stuff that I said. Basically going like, hey man, why you gotta be a dick? Like people lost their jobs. Oh yeah, and their insurance, health insurance. And yeah, he's just dancing on their graves, as Ken puts it. But then the guy, he can't take the criticism. This is his response. Sorry, the daily shows and the weekly shows you were all on did not perform well enough to stay around. It sucks. It really does. But the YouTube community didn't support you in the channel, only now once it's gone. And then Ken Knapsack responds again, and then he responds as well. He says, couldn't agree more, Ken, and it sucks for us all, and apologies if I misrepresented it for the people who the tweet affected. But the shit back from the fans after Collider kept the shows alive for 2 more years after Complex is just ridiculous. No one said thanks for keeping them. I just, like, this guy is just such an absolute waste of space. Just an absolute cunt. Like, he's like, no one is thanking them. Dude, the fans are what make the channel what it is. The fans should not be thanking you. You should be thanking the fans. That's how this shit works, okay? The idea that like the fans should get on their knees and thank the great Jack Hind. That's not how this works. You're nothing. You were nothing before the fans. Like, that channel was nothing before the supposed YouTube, before the supposed movie commentary and fart jokes came on. Like, the channel was nothing. So, the idea that the fans should be thanking you, no. It is 100% the other way around. And again, like, he talks as if his new content is like popping, but that's just not the case. Like, here's the thing. Movie commentary, or no, sorry, not movie commentary, like celebrity interviews, nobody cares about that stuff. And that's just the reality of it. Like, nobody cares about celebrity interviews. Nobody cares about, about like you. Like, nobody just cares. Like, nobody cares about you interviewing celebrities. That's just kind of the truth. So, and if you look at the numbers, like, it kind of checks out, But yeah, like, if you look at their, like, For Your Consideration series, for example, the movie commentary that the Waste of Space Jack Hind that he says nobody supports, like, the movie commentary videos of that series, they do way better than, like, the celebrity interviews, the premium content, or what does he say? Hold on a second, I gotta pull up that quote because it's so stupid. The industry professional content, yes. Like, the celebrity interviews, like, nobody even cares. Literally nobody cares. Now, to be fair, the, like, what is it called, the comic book shopping stuff, that stuff does pretty good. But because I guess that has, like, a bit more production around it or whatever, I don't know. But it is good, but it doesn't even do, like, better than their movie discussion content. Like, it's pretty comparable. So I like the idea that their movie discussion content isn't doing well, but their like their other content is like vastly outperforming them is just nonsense. Like the only content that is like exploding is their like deep fake stuff. Which, by the way, like I said before, and I could be wrong about this, but that's like a gimmick that isn't gonna last them. Like I don't think it's gonna be a thing that is gonna be able to sustain a channel and sustain a fan base um for long. And by the way, like he says, industry professional content. Like, dude, you're slapping on a deep fake on some actors. That's not that's that's not industry grade content. Like, what are you talking about? I I just like no, like you're just slapping on some deep fakes on some actors and telling some jokes from like 2007. That's not industry professional content. It's fine. It's fun. It's okay, but get off your high horse is what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about? Um, and yeah, it's just weird. Like I said before, if they wanted to like if they wanted to cut back on the on the budgets for these shows, that's more than understandable. But to tell us to flat out cancel these shows and tell us that they're replacing them with stuff that's doing better, it's just not true. If you go into the analytics, oh, and by the way, it should be noted that conveniently the the one show that isn't getting canceled is the CEO's show. Wow. Yeah, cuz I mean, what a coincidence, right? The show that the CEO does, that one isn't getting canceled. Like, I mean, supposedly this is all about analytics, right? And if a show isn't doing well enough, then you just gotta cancel it. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna yabba dabba do, right? Uh, but no, that one's fine. It's fine. It's that one's staying up. Don't even worry about that. Don't even think about it. But I mean, but the thing with that show as well is that they did with that show what I said they should do. It's a lower budget show. It's just kind of in a spare in a spare room at the studios. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Do that with the other shows. I don't know. It's just it's just a shitty situation all around. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say on the topic. It's just sad. Um, it's sad that this company made a decision that they felt like they had to do, which again, like I said before, I don't think they should have made the decision. I don't like they should have made that decision. But whatever. They did it. But they did it in a way where they just kicked their talent out the door, out into the ocean without even a lifeboat. And then they decided to as they're drowning, they decided to throw Jack Hind. He decided to throw a fucking anchor in the water and just watch them sink and laugh about it and mock them and and shit on the content that they've spent years developing, shit on the content that made that channel what it was, because like I said before, that channel wasn't anything before movie talk and these these movie commentary and fart joke content came about. Like, it made the channel what it was. So, yeah. Fuck Collider. Fuck Jack Hind, especially, I guess. And my condolences to the people affected by the situation. Bye.